Hi, everybody. Sorry for the delay, but welcome. I'm happy that you're here. Yes, so welcome. Today I want to talk about Pocahontas. Pocahontas, as in the song from the movie Pocahontas, not the actual Pocahontas. But I do want to talk about that. But first, I want to say hi to you guys. Hello. We were actually supposed to go live last Monday, and that didn't happen because I was celebrating my birthday. So I had said that we were going to meet the last Monday in January, and that did not happen because I was celebrating. So please come in. Welcome everybody. I'm happy that you're here. Yay! Hi, Level Up Single Mom. Welcome. Yes, this movie, the music, it was everything. So I was not here because I was celebrating. My husband actually took me to a hotel and we had fun. It was from Saturday until Monday. So that's why we weren't here. So sorry guys, but I had a lot of fun. Hi Marcus, welcome, welcome. Oh, I need a tissue. My eyes burning already. I got one in here. Hey Jamile, thank you for being here. Hi Jess. Hey girl. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I had a great time. Sorry. Whew. My eyes burning. I was making tacos tonight, and the onion is still in my eye. So hi, welcome everybody. Hi Albert, welcome, welcome. Hi Shandy. Hi mom. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming. Ooh, thanks for bearing with me. All right, where to start? So yes, so like I said, last weekend I wasn't here because I was celebrating. My birthday week was everything. Honestly, I rested. I got to hang out with my beautiful friends. We went to karaoke, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was great. My husband took me to the Illusion Museum, and that was fun. It was disorienting. I got really, really nauseated on one part because it was like this tunnel that you were walking through, and it felt like you were falling, and I couldn't like reorient myself. And then we went into a room where the room was leaning, and then that felt really I'm too old for these illusions, I guess. But yes. Hi, Jess. Yes, the girl. Yes, Pocahontas is everything. Everything. Hi, Laquita. Welcome. I randomly searched for this song and listened to it a few months ago. Great choice. Yay. Awesome. Awesome. Um, Shandy, I love how your mom is so supportive. She's always in your lives. Yes, I'm appreciative. I'm grateful. I really am. Okay, Museums of Illusion. Thank you. Museum of Illusions. That's what it was. It was great. It was fun. Hi, Yana. Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. I want to talk about Pocahontas. So I actually want to start a series called the Song Sermons, and not that it has to be rooted in church or anything like that, but I think that music teaches us a lot. The lyrics and songs can teach us a lot. The themes and movies and stuff like that can teach us a lot too. So I kind of have these songs that I listen to. And I'm like, yes, like the messaging in this is like, yes, why are we not talking about this? So let me start off by saying this. Yeah, shout out to Jam with the All-Star B-Day plans. Absolutely. Thank you, Jemiah. I appreciate you. We love you. So let me start here. Pocahontas, the movie, very problematic. So I watched it again today. Just because I wanted to, remember and have the points I want to talk about, and just for like, nostalgia's sake. But I rewatched the movie and I was like, this is not accurate at all. And I think the whole point of the movie was, I think what they were trying to do was trying to convey that we all have our differences and blah, blah, blah. And we all just misunderstand each other, all this stuff. No, those were colonizers, okay? Those white men on that boat were colonizers. There is no misunderstanding or misinformation or no, they're violent. And that's a whole other conversation, but we all know that that whole story is a lie. Yes. Also, I want to say I do not belong to any indigenous tribes. Obviously, I'm just speaking from my own perspective through the movie. And I also want to say that that this is just an analysis on the lyrics, not the actual happenings of what really happened to Pocahontas and the folks from the, I don't want to mispronounce it, but Potawatomi tribe. Please forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. Pocahontas was actually 13 or 14, if I remember. Yes, she was very young. And also, there's some sort of question about whether or not her and John Smith actually were involved romantically or not, because I wanted to research that too. So they may not have been involved romantically either, but here we are. Okay. And obviously Disney took their creative liberties and did all these different things, but the real story is not the real story. But I do want to talk about the song. Okay, so yes. So I want to start with, I wanted to actually share, I had the idea of like sharing clips of the song, but YouTube be YouTubing, so I can't do that. It'd probably get shut down. But we can go through the lyrics together. So that's what I'm going to show you. The lyrics of the song. Yay. So turn with me to, all right, to him, Colors of the Wind. Let's see how you do this. Present, share screen, window. Yay. Okay, so hopefully y'all can see this. So we're going to go through verse by verse, right? So, hi, Marissa. Happy Monday. Welcome. Thanks for being here. Ooh, and thanks for bearing with me, y'all. Okay, so the first line, obviously, this is a whole setup for the scene. She says, "You think I'm an ignorant savage, and you've been so many places. I guess it must be true. But still, I cannot see. If the savage one is me, how can there be so much that you don't know? You don't know." And then she goes into her song, right? Okay, so the first thing that I think is interesting that I never really paid attention to as a child is like, oh, you've been all around the world and you've seen all these things and yet you still don't know so much, right? Which makes me question what they were actually searching the world for. I'm stuttering. Searching the world for. But I mean, obviously they were searching the world to conquer it. They weren't searching the world to learn it, because if they were, you would think people who travel, they'd be so like worldly and understanding and, learned, so to speak, in different cultures and things like that. And yet and still, they still took their colonizing minds to every place that was different than theirs. And instead of learning from the people who were there, they in turn made them trade their culture, their history, their language, all these different things for, not being, in exchange for this idea of not being a savage anymore. And we're not talking about, obviously, we're not talking about Meg Thee Stallion savage. We're talking about like savages, like calling someone a savage as in a noun or calling someone a savage as in an adjective. And I looked at the definition of savage. Number one, of an animal or force of nature, fierce, violent, and uncontrolled. The second definition is like a brutal or vicious person. And so when I was looking at that, I was like, it's ironic that you call these people savages. And I think that's the whole point. You call them savages. However, who was the brutal person? Who was the person who was uncontrolled, like and unhinged? It wasn't the folks that they were colonizing. It was the colonizer. So in exchange, right, like what are you promising these people? Because in one line in the movie, John Smith basically said, we can teach you savages so many things. We'll teach you how to be civilized, right? And what does civilized mean? That's a whole other conversation. But we'll teach you how to be civilized. And so in exchange for them being civilized, what do they get except hunger, disease, right? Death. So to me, obviously, the savages are not the native people. Not that I thought that they were, but they're not the native people. Jamal says Disney would immediately grab this live. Yes, immediately. They want all their money. Okay, so I'm not going to play any clips of the movie, but hopefully you all have seen it. It came out in the 90s. So spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about Pocahontas. Hey, Wing Wolf 500, welcome. Yes, Disney. Jess says traveling the world for things to steal, that part, and people. Speak truth, right? Because, you're saying, oh, I've been so many places and yet and still I don't know. And literally they didn't know anything. When I read A People's History of the United States, awful. So of course they describe the indigenous folks as like very handsome and strong and strapping, but they called them stupid because they didn't value what the colonizers valued, which is money, right? Which is ownership, which is property and all these different things. And we'll get to that in a second. But like, it really makes you question, like, why do we value what we value? We talked about this in the garden, listing the things that we value and then seeing if our lives line up with what we say we value, right? So we say we value peace. We say we value love and generosity and partnership and all these different things. But in our lives, we look very selfish. We look very fearful, very scarce. We do things that stress ourselves out. We take things like we make things take things to the 10th level, which stresses us out. What makes it hard. And so sometimes we say that we value something, and really we don't. Also, one thing I want to point out is that there is a difference between appreciating and reverencing something and wanting to control something or look at something like objects in a museum or a zoo, right? And I think that sometimes colonizers can be very focused on culture for culture's sake, but not really for the people that culture belongs to. It's like you want to say like, oh yeah, I've been here and I've seen this and da da da, but you really think yourself higher than those people, or you're looking at it like looking in like, oh, look at those interesting, savages doing these savage things. And even though obviously this is a movie, I do think that we sometimes have that same mindsets in our own lives. So this is a calling out, but it's also, what is it, like a calling in that people are saying now. But like, look at yourselves and make sure that you're not carrying that same colonizing, selfish, scarce mentality. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get into all this stuff. Hi, Aisha Creates. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm so glad you caught a lie too. Welcome. Happy that you're here. I'm Tony Van Buren. Hi. That song literally gives me chills every time I hear it, and I look it up at least a few times a year. Yes, this song is. Listen, the story is problematic. The song though, the lyrics, they were writing. So I'm appreciative. Okay. So I have notes, y'all, to keep me on track. So we're gonna work this. We're gonna work through this. Okay. So because Pocahontas didn't go to an institution or didn't speak the king's English, right? Because she was connected with the earth, John called her and her people savages, right? Their knowing, though, was beyond books. Their knowing was beyond whatever the English whatever their colonizers' idea of what is knowledge, right? Like, just because I can't convey this in a way that you understand in your language doesn't mean that I'm less than you. And so we can think, because our experiences and travels, that we are better than or smarter than others, or even our degrees or our experiences, our expertise, blah, 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 all these different things. We can take that same mindset and apply it to our own lives and think, oh, I'm better than you. I have a degree. I have a PhD. Not saying that none of that is important, because go off, but also it doesn't make you better than somebody else. It also bothers me when people think that just because you learn something in an institution, that automatically makes you wiser than people who don't go to institutional schools, right? Like there's almost like this idea of what is hailed as good education, right? Like, what is good education? But there's stuff to learn all around us, even from people who never went to college, who never went to high school even, right? Like a lot of our grandparents, great grandparents didn't have an education past what? Middle school, if that. Some people didn't even have middle school. You know what I mean? And when we look at them and say, oh, you're not smart, you can't teach me anything, they have wisdom beyond our years, right? And sometimes life is the best teacher. Sometimes our elders can teach us way more than we can learn in a classroom sitting in a chair, right? So just be careful. Let's see. Marissa says, yes, it's just a game to them. Yes, but it's our lives. Exactly. It's our lives. It's our livelihood. It's what we consider sacred, what we reverence. And other people are just coming in like, oh, this is entertainment for them, right? Like, it's entertainment. So I completely agree. Hi, Mara. Welcome. Hi, Dolce. Welcome. Or Dulce. I don't know how to pronounce that. Hi, Monique. Welcome. Yes. Hi, Tess. Welcome. I'm so glad y'all are here. Yes. Colors of the Wind. Absolutely. Okay. Yes. Okay. So be careful, like I said, not to become John Smith. Again, don't become the people who colonized you, right? It's really hard, obviously, because we live in a colonized society. We live in America. I mean, for those of you who might be watching other places, there are very few places on the planet that has not been touched by colonization. A lot of us are all victims of it in a lot of ways. And so these degrees don't make you, this job don't make you, they also don't qualify you, right? Like, they don't add anything. And I say this all the time. They don't add anything to your inherent value. You are inherently valuable, and your value goes beyond money. Money is cheap. Like money that exists in America did not exist 500 years ago, 500, 600 years ago. And your sacred being is so bigger than that. Like it's from your being is literally from like out of time. You feel me? And so to boil yourself down to these qualifications that didn't exist again 100 years ago even, or 200 or 300, 400, 500 years ago. Try not to do that. I also want to say it's Black History Month. But I'll listen, we gonna talk about this. Black people, and somebody tweeted this the other day and they put it in words that I loved. Black people were capital, right? So when we talk about capitalism, I know a lot of people, that's pushing a lot of people's buttons. They get really uncomfortable. But be clear, like we're adopting a mindset that had our ancestors in chains, that had indigenous people killed, stolen from, right? Like all these things, like this is what capitalism here is made of. And what I don't want us to do is adopt the mindset of the people who colonized, stole, you know what I'm saying, abused the people who are here and us, our bodies. Yes. Hi, Coco. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. My concern when I talk about Black excellence or when I talk about capitalism or all these different things, the American dream, is that if we're not careful, we become the people who abused us. A lot of people want to become the owner as opposed to seeking liberation for all people, right? Instead of seeking liberation and tearing down these systems and destroying this stuff, it's like, no, like I have to become the top person. So you're playing a game that wasn't even created for you. So that's a whole other conversation. But also, instead of actually doing the work that is beneficial to all people, right? You're doing something that benefits you. And that's that's the mind of the colonizer. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. I'm gonna just shoot straight from here on out because yeah. Jamal says, last I understood, what a US dollar is made of costs more than it's actually worth. It's true. It takes more money. Okay, to make a penny, it costs more money to make a penny than what a penny is worth. Okay. So yes, I agree. Hi, dark skinned woman. We have already become, we have to unlearn. Absolutely. We have to unlearn. There's so much like we underestimate how evil this system is, how evil this country is, how evil this world is. Like we got people arguing for the destruction of people, the poverty of people, arguing for people being unhoused and unfed and uncared for simply because, oh, well, if I got it out the mud, they should be able to get out the mud too. Right? Like it's wild. We adopt this mindset from, again, these colonizing people who did not build anything with their own bootstraps, who didn't build anything for themselves, right? I'm about to get passionate, but didn't build anything for themselves. And we take on this lie that if I work hard enough, if I, put other people down, I'll become better. But no, if you stand in the truth that you are already amazing, these systems can't have you. It don't work. Like you are far more valuable than any other coin on this planet. Any other. Coco says, the jobs don't even value us. Not at all. They don't. The jobs don't. No matter how educated we are. Absolutely. Like this, again, all these rules are fake. All these rules are fake. All of these things that they say you need, these many years experience, this degree, blah, blah, blah. It's just more hurdles for you to overcome to keep you indebted so that you go to this job so you won't leave because you're in, like, it's so much stuff. Like, I really think that we underestimate how evil this place is, how evil this mindset is, that I have to compete with, destroy other people in order to get ahead. Why would you want to compete in a system like that? Because if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And we're going to get into it, right? We're going to get into living by the sword and dying by the sword. I might as well just say it now. So this whole AP African American history, I was going to actually make a separate video about that, but I think I'm going to just say it here, right? If you are doing right by people, if you are loving people, if you're being generous, if you're being kind, honest, right? If you're being forthright, if you're reverencing people, right? You have nothing to fear. When I see stuff like that trying to be passed, like, oh, no AP African American history. I mean, it's very specific with all the issues that are going on. It's a very specific issue to hone in on. But really, it's not shocking. I'm not surprised. Anything evil that happens here, I'm not surprised. It's annoying. It's aggravating, but it's not surprising Because if I have done evil to people, I'm going to put all of my effort and energy into pushing down the truth. I was telling my husband that the AP African American history situation is just like Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. So in this poem, Edgar Allan Poe writes a poem where the main character kills somebody, right? They kill somebody and puts them under the floorboard or their heart under the floorboard. I can't remember the details. But because this person is trying to hide the truth, is trying to, hide the heart or the body, he starts to go crazy. He starts to go mad, right? And so the heart starts beating from under the floorboard and he hears it all the time. He hears it like everywhere he goes. He can't do anything about it and he goes insane. The same thing I feel like is happening here, right? Except, and my husband pointed this out, it's not just that you hear the heartbeat now, the world hears. And so you have to do all that you have to do to hide that truth. The conscience of the people who are the evil people is eating them alive. You know why? Because they're doing stupid and silly stuff like trying to prohibit AP African American history. That's silly. But again, if you have lived a life that is evil, you'll never know rest. You'll never know peace. You know what I mean? And so these people in these high places and these high positions, because of their evil, they have something to hide. Because if you're not afraid of the truth, why not just let the truth be seen? If you're not afraid of what people are going to find out, just let them find out themselves. But no, you have to do the work of this is what is the argument? This is against American history. Again, African American history is not American history. But focusing in on that, it's still not going to drown out the truth, sweetie. The truth is still coming out. The truth is still out. And just because your conscience is eating you up doesn't mean that we're all deaf. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's another conversation. It's sickening. Capitalism, 24/7 production, lack of rest. The list goes on. I don't want to dream in that color. Yeah, I enjoy my peace. I love that. I don't want to dream in that color. I love that. Yeah, same. Oh, yeah. Tony says, reading the 4 agreements right now, that touches on breaking these agreements we have been swindled into making in order to escape hell of earth. Yeah. Super silly. It's an elective. What? Not everyone in school or an entire school district will take that course. Absolutely. Literally, we had AP courses at my high school at Largo, but I don't think that AP African American history was a thing back then, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But that wasn't one of the electives that they offered us. I don't know. So for me, it was this is absolutely a non-issue. This is a non-issue. But you're making it a big issue because you're guilty. Because you live by the sword. You're guilty. You have evil in your heart. That's why. If you made amends, reparations, if you made amends for what you did wrong, then your conscience wouldn't be eating you up. You'd be able to actually do the work to actually helping people. But they're not there to help people anyway. So that's why am I expecting that from them? They're not there to help people. Yana says, child, most of us Floridians are sick of him. I'm sure. I'm sure. I can't even imagine. Hell on earth. Okay, let's say. Okay. Breaking these agreements we have been swindled into making in order to escape hell on earth. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Moving down. All right. John had been all these places, but still lacked so much knowledge and wisdom, right? He went to colonize, not learn. Also, John said that they'd improve the lives of the savages all over the world, that they have shown the savages the way of life and how to live and all these different things. And I sat there and asked myself, what did these people get in response? In exchange for their colonization? Poverty, illness, trading sacred heritage for whitewashed whatever the heck, right? The same as colonizing faith. Okay. As a Christian, I get irritated when people want to go on these, what do they call it? Missionary trips. I'm just going to say it. I don't like the idea of missionary trips. I don't understand. I don't understand it, number one, because why do I have to leave this country to go to a different country to spread the gospel if that's what I believe, when there's my neighbor right next to me, and all I have to do is love them? That's the first thing. Second thing is, why do you feel like you have to be Superman to go over there and save everybody? If you believe in this God, is God not big enough to speak to the people who are already there, right? And a lot of places that went to go on missionary expeditions or whatever, it really was just colonizing. Like, give me your language, give me your tongue, give me your rituals and all these different things in exchange for my God, right? Which really doesn't even mean like my God. It means like for my clothes and my language and in the way that I worship, right? Like that's what it really was. It wasn't giving like, oh, I'm actually concerned about your soul. It's like, no, you have to look just like me. It was about conformity. It was about conformity, uniformity, right? And trading in everything that God made you, trading everything that God gave you to make you different, in exchange for this God, which really the God that they were worshiping, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if that's the God that I serve, but this God would not do that because God created every person differently. God wants the different rituals. God wants the different clothing and the different language and the different tongue. Like that's literally like God's workmanship. We all look different. We all have different perspectives. You feel me? Like we all have different things that we value, things that we bring to the table, right? To make up this beautiful like potluck where everybody can feast from. But you're more concerned about the outer appearance as opposed to their actual like well-being. Because y'all were going all these places trading the gospel for like illness and sickness and poverty. That's not a God I want to serve. Okay. Hey, Miss Full Roller, Sarah. Welcome. Yeah, let's not disturb what works for them. Yeah. Oops. Yes, they go to conquer, to control. That's it. That's it. In the name of God, which is why it's so frustrating because I understand why people say, oh, Christianity is a white man's religion. I don't believe that, but I understand why people say that because people have used and weaponized Christianity to overtake, destroy, kill, murder, rape, pillage, all these different people. And so if that is the God that you say that you represent, right? A God that leaves destruction and poverty and takes away again the connection to each other, but also like nature, then I don't like, why would I want to serve that God? Forced assimilation. Exactly. They definitely serve a different God. Absolutely. Because their actions reflect the opposite of what they claim to preach. Thank you. Absolutely. And it's like the God is themselves. They're their own gods. It's like you don't worship God, you worship whiteness. You worship European, specifically the Western European whiteness. And so anyone that doesn't assimilate, right, is murdered, is cut off, is starved. When I think of the evil, the evil that these people did in the name of God, it makes me sick. It disgusts me. And in a lot of ways, we're doing like, we're doing the same thing as believers, right? We say that we love God and we hate people. We say that people deserve to be poor. We say that people don't deserve access to clean water and clean housing. And you know what I'm saying? Like you speaking out of both sides of your neck. Which one is it? If their way of life was so good to them, then why were they leaving their homeland to come here? Many, if not all, were kicked out because they were criminals. LOL. The hypocrisy is mind-blowing. Thank you for saying this because this is what I was thinking of saying. But I was like, I don't want to offend nobody, but no, like y'all were the rejects. Like, no offense. Y'all were the rejects and you came here in search of better, right? And so if, like you said, if your way of life is so great, then why are you here? You're not here to learn. You're not here to like explore and to like, gain greater knowledge and make friends with people. No, you want to conquer them because you need to feel good about yourself. When you are secure in who you are, you don't have to conquer anybody. You don't have to destroy anybody. Because I don't need to do that. That's such a cheap way to give myself more value. Right? It's easy. Let me take these guns, which to me, guns are savage. I'm sorry. You can't fight. like you can't fight. You went to a land where you knew they weren't gonna, it wasn't even an even fight. Who's a savage? Y'all can't go, fist to fist. Who's a savage? And I still I still feel that way today. I'm not a fan of guns. I get it. I understand why they're necessary. And I think that, yes, you should be able to protect yourself. But to me, a gun is such a cheap and easy and disconnected way from taking someone's life. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, one, I don't want to take anyone's life. That's not what I want to do. But also it's like the audacity of me to get behind a barrel and say, your life has no worth anymore. It has no value. Your time's up. Like, I'm God. You feel like I can't do it. Anyway, yes. Coco says, and why go out of your own country when it's a big mess here with people that you kidnap and never made things right with reparations? Yeah. How about an open world-wide apology? That's a start. That would be too much like right, Coco. That's too much like right. Pride, right? Like when you really look at America, it's really all about the look of it. It's not really about the heart of it. It's about the pride. It's about the prestige and the honor, using air quotes, honor. It's about overtaking other people and destroying other people and, being our own gods. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. So no one's gonna apologize because if they apologize, they have to make too many things right that they did wrong. First of all, they have to admit that they were wrong, right? That their forefathers were wrong. So that's the first part. But then secondly, that means you have to make right what you did wrong. It's not enough for an apology. An apology is not enough. That's the start. You know what I mean? And so it's almost like I feel like this country has written checks that it can't cash. That's how I feel. And will tell us, go back to where you come from. Hello? Do you think I want to be here under this oppressive system? Also, this is another thing that people say. Oh, well, you say you hate capitalism. These are comments that I get all the time. You say you hate capitalism and Black excellence, and it's so oppressive. But then other countries wish that they were as rich, other countries love capitalism because they're able to be rich like us. First of all, this country's in debt, number one. Two, so there's no wealth. Number two, also, these people were fine before y'all got there. You all, and I said this to my husband, you all literally went to a land that was fine, traded them things to put them in a lower position than you, and then controlled the land and the resources and all this different stuff and created money for a lot of these places, like the idea of exchanging $1 for something so that you can keep them poor. Like, you all created impoverished folks. Be clear. Like, we didn't make people rich. And if anything, you all are going to other countries, exploiting them for cheap. So you don't even value them. It's a lie. It's a lie. Anyway, Tony says, then they turn around and tell us all to go back where you came from. The irony. And also, like, y'all not from here either. Everyone here is here by force or by choice, minus indigenous folks. So if you go, I'll go. Run me my money first. But anyway, then my question is, where are we from? Exactly. Where are we from? Yes, please like if you like. I know we're talking about some controversial things, but if you like it, please like it. I don't expect anything like this to be like, yeah, this is going to be the one. It's not. But yeah, if you like it, please like it. Hi, Belinda. Good evening, Alicia. I'm always saying, why guns? Whatever happened to just putting up your dukes? Me too. I mean, even though that's very dangerous too, fighting is very dangerous. But to me, there's more honor in fighting with actual hands than guns. I'm sorry. It's cheap. Like it's cowardly. That's the word I'm looking for. It's cowardly. They legit played chess with people's livelihood. Absolutely. They sure did. And they're still doing it. Customized oppression. Hi, Sam Kiefer. Welcome. It's all about the Benjamins, appearances, and talking out both sides of the mouth. Absolutely. Check out Revolutionary Blackout Network, please. They get into that real good. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Revolutionary Blackout Network. I'll check that out. Thank you for the offering. I appreciate that. Okay. Let me get back to my notes. Okay, so we're finally at the beginning of the song. Okay, so the beginning of the song says, you think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. That intro right there, drag, right? It's the audacity. The earth is infinite. The earth is abundant. The earth is not yours. The earth is not mine, right? We live here. It's almost like literally we're, oh, no worries. Thank you for popping in. Thanks for being here. Yay. It's good to see you. Level up, single mom. But yes, the earth is not mine. The earth is not yours. The earth is the earth. The earth is God's, right? Like, God created all this. This is my belief. God created all of this and literally created all of it so that all of us can enjoy it. I am a visitor. You've literally, I know what Christian folks say. What do they say? I'm Anyway, either way, I'm a visitor, pilgrim. I'm a pilgrim. Like, I'm a visitor, right? Literally, I'm not going to be here forever. But while I'm here, I'm able to enjoy the earth as I enjoy it. And then I go back to the earth, right? The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Okay, Marcus? I was trying hard not to say that. But seriously, the earth is God's. So how dare we? It's such like toddler mentality to be like, this is mine. This is mine. It's like literally a parent has, let's say a parent has like 5 kids, right? And so the parent has something and one of the kids wants it and wants to play with it and takes it from the parent and says, this is mine, right? And tells all the, their siblings, you can't have this. This is mine. Actually, little baby, this is your parents, right? And your parent is allowing you to play with this. Your parent is allowing you to borrow this. You feel me? So if we're all sharing this thing, keep it in good condition. Take care of it, right? Like, put it back the way you found it. Not just because it's yours, but because it's everybody's. It's everybody's. And so, like, when we come in this world and talk about some, colonizers, for example, that colonizing mindset, this is mine. This is my land. This is my air. This is my rain. And I could be like, literally, that could seem like hyperbole, but no, in some places, people aren't even allowed to own their rain. People aren't even allowed to drink the water that falls from the sky where they live because of corporations. It's evil. There's so much evil here. But it's like the audacity of you to say that this land is mine. You didn't grow it. You ain't plant nothing, right? You could not create the earth. And yet you're saying that this is mine. Nothing is yours. It's all of ours, right? Which is why it's so, I get so torn between, I'm just be honest with y'all. All this development that's happening where I live now, it's very irritating to me. One, we don't have the infrastructure. PG, calm down. We don't have the infrastructure. But 2, it's like, where is the reverence for nature? Where is the reverence for the animals, right? Like, there's so much roadkill on the street because y'all are tearing down their homes. You know what I mean? And then these houses that you're building, people can't afford it. And I also feel torn about like, what is it called? Landlording. I personally, I'm not a fan. I understand that that's one of the greatest, they say that that's one of the greatest ways to wealth is like being a landlord or being a property owner or owning houses and flipping them and stuff. For me, this is my personal conviction. I don't think I could do that because housing to me should not be something that is held back, that something that's held over someone's head. I don't think that I should be able to become wealthy off of where people live. I don't think that everything that is a business should be a business. I don't. I know that, it's necessary. And I think that's one of the best reasons why people go into it, because everybody needs a house. Everybody needs food. Everybody needs clothing. Everybody needs shelter. Everybody needs water, right? But then when you make that a business, the quality goes down, right? It's about the money and not the people anymore. And obviously there are some landlords out there who are, I don't even like that name. There are some property owners out there who do care about their tenants, who do care about the people who stay in their places. But far too often, we're just like, you ain't got the money, you're gone, right? I just can't, I don't know. People go through things, and I don't think that housing should be that expensive anyway. No other animal on earth has to pay for their housing. Not that we're animals, but it's like we're so evolved, right? But like we're paying for housing. I don't know. There's too many things. Yes, no ethics, none. No ethics, no oversight, no nothing. You can do whatever you want. And there's supposed to be a code of ethics you stay by, but a lot of people don't. Anyway. Pilgrim in this barren land. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, nothing here is ours. Nothing is ours. When we pass away, we're not taking none of that with us. And I know we've heard that people have said it to the blue in the face, but seriously, like nothing we have is ours. And it actually opens my mind up when I think about scarcity and abundance. Everything is God's, and I am God's child. So everything is mine too, right? But also everything is yours too. That means that I can give to you freely because I know God's going to take care of me and give it back. I can't will the tree to grow. I can plant the seed, but it might not grow. You feel me? Like, but God is the one doing it, maintaining it, all that stuff. That's my personal conviction and belief. And so if that is the truth, I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to worry about. But the problem is that people come in and they monopolize everything. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred under capitalism, under white supremacy. None of it. Nothing is sacred. Not even trees. You see a tree. I'm getting ahead of myself, but nothing is sacred. Okay. So the earth is God's, right? And so God gave it and created it freely. Like, I'm reading this book called Braiding Sweetgrass right now, and it is so good. Y'all need to read it, please. But what she's saying, she's putting into poetic words what I feel, right? She talks about strawberries, for example, when she was growing up, and there would be like strawberry patches, and all the kids would eat of it freely, right? Nobody owned it. It's just like, hey, there's strawberries here, and because you're sharing it with other people, you leave enough for everybody else. You know what I mean? There's an understanding. Oh, yes, I'm going to eat from it. And so because I'm taking care of it, because I'm not over harvesting, because I'm not, demanding the ground, give me something, give me a yield every year, right? I'm taking care of the earth. I'm not damaging it. And therefore it takes care of me. It's reciprocal. The relationship is reciprocal. But far too often we're too focused on ourselves. What can I get? How can I profit from this? Literally profit. We see everything. Again, I'm getting very ahead of myself. Let me come in. Okay. Let me keep going. Yes. Like, nothing is yours. It's not yours. Nothing is yours. No species has dominion over other species on this planet. None. They all work together, right? Like, some animals eat other animals. Some animals, do other things. But honestly, all the species work together. And I think that's my whole point. We were talking about competition and people were like, that's not true. People do compete. Animals do compete. But animals work together, whether they know it or not. You feel me? Some animals poop in certain places, and seed is in their poop, and it goes into the ground as fertilizer. That's the earth and the animals working together. But for us humans, us evolved ones, right? We don't even do that. We're not even beneficial to the ground. We're not even beneficial to the ground. We destroy the soil. We destroy the ground. That's wild. So even as dumb, using air quotes, as dumb as animals are, they're more beneficial to the earth than we are. Right? We're gonna keep on, and Mama Nature gonna be singing that song. Mama said, knock you out. Okay. Listen, keep playing. You're right. Those are human necessities, not commodities. I agree. Yes, make the money from other stuff, but housing, that don't make sense to me. I'm sorry. Tony says, there's no ethics. I agree. That's why I love the movie Play Rent. Literally everything is rent. You don't own anything. We own nothing. Literally, even in America, we own nothing. You can pay your house off and miss taxes, and they gonna snatch that house right on up. We don't even own anything here. You feel me? So anyway, I'd rather share, and we'll get into that in a second. Yes. Hi, welcome. The tribe cares. Welcome. LOL, not even beneficial to the ground. We're not. A lot of us, this feels sad for me to say, but a lot of us are not beneficial to the ground until we go into it. Meaning, like, literally, we're so greedy, right? We're so profit-minded that we're mining the earth of everything, and it won't stop until someone passes away, so you can stop being a detriment to the earth, and your body goes back into the earth and feeds the soil again. It's crazy. Like, literally. That makes me so sad. Just give us enough land and we'll build it up like we did so many times before. Absolutely. Then leave us alone. That part. Okay. Then leave us alone. So we can flourish as well as people on every level. Circulate our own money. Yes, I agree. Honestly, leave us alone, please. We own nothing. Words to live by. Ooh, dark-skinned woman. The tribe cares. Yes, we can own nothing. Nothing. Do coffins even break down? I don't even know. Do they? That's a good question. What effect is that having on the ground and land? That's a good question. Yikes. Yeah, it's sad but true. It is. Oh, don't wait to be a benefit to the earth because you gone. You're not here no more. That's crazy. Okay, let's see. The earth was its own. The earth is its own. The earth is God's and everyone's beforehand. There are people who were here thousands of years before us, right? And they got to benefit us, right? We benefit from them, from what they've done too. And so the earth has medicine. It's healing. It's beautiful. It's just good for the eyes. But a lot of us can't even see the beauty, right? Because we have to own everything. I found it first. It's mine. Like someone's going to snatch away your land. But again, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If you live a selfish life, then you're going to be afraid that everyone's going to take everything from you. When people talk about in this country, they're going to come for us. Like we need our guns because, again, whatever. Feel how you want to feel about guns. We need our guns because they're coming. Who's they? Coming where? Right? Like, are you filled with fear? Are you filled with fear because of because of the history you know about? Because you know at some point the checks are going to have to cash, right? That's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. Tony said, if they aren't biodegradable, I doubt it. Okay. If that's the case, the sail above would be sunken eventually. Never seen ditches in a cemetery. Me neither. Me neither. Okay. Section 3. The lyrics say, you think the only people who are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, right? So you think the only people who are people who look and think like you. I feel like we're all guilty of this in some sort of way. If this person doesn't think what I think or believe what I believe, we dehumanize them. Honestly, oh, they're stupid. They're silly. Even like lazy labeling, like, oh, they're Trump supporters, right? Like this idea that, oh, I can sum you up based on what you think and what you believe, when people are way more complex than that. And you know that. There's more nuance to everything, right? It's very easy and very lazy. And I'm not saying I'm for Trump supporters also. Let me make that clear. But also, like, I try my hardest not to sum up people based on an interaction or belief, because there could be so much behind that. And we're going to talk about it. The jab, right? Let's talk about this, right? There are some people who didn't get it. And a lot of people will say, you're stupid, you're misinformed, you're a non-believer or whatever. There are people that I know personally who did not get it because they're afraid. Either way, right? And so when this war was going on, I know y'all might drag me for this. When this war was going on, I'm like, both of you all are saying the same thing. I am afraid. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening to my body. I'm afraid of dying, right? Either way, whether you're afraid of getting illness or taking the precautions not to, right? Like that requires sober thinking. That requires critical thinking. And that's hard. It's hard to do because you're set in your ways and your beliefs and like, oh, I thought that, this sums up everything and everybody. No, like we're not God. We don't have the power to sum up everybody based on one occurrence. Now, again, obviously, take this with a grain of salt. If you're talking about someone who is abusive, someone who is harmful, that willfully ignorant, that's a different conversation. But some people literally are just ignorant. We're all ignorant in some level. And I think that our brain tries its best to sum up people like this so that we don't have to work that hard, which is a survival thing. It's good that our brains do that, but it's not good when we sum up people like that. You think the only people who are worthy of being human, you think the only people who are worthy of being humanized are people who look and think like you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just offering this. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, right? I think that speaks for itself. I do want to say though, during this scene, this was when John Smith was lifting his gun to shoot a bear, right? And he was lifting the gun to shoot a bear because he thought like the bear was going to be a threat to him, when the bear was minding its business. You're in the woods, John. You're in the woods. How are you upset? How are you upset that a bear is in its territory? You feel me? That's why my husband would say, that's why I stay out the woods. And that's why we stay out the woods, right? But you don't get to go into a place and be like, I got to kill you because you're a threat to me. No, you're in its home, right? And so this is kind of like an aside. I've been getting really deep into Bigfoot lore and shows and stuff like that. I don't know how I got there, but I'm here now and I'm learning about it. And I watched this show called Expedition Bigfoot. And so this team of people go out into the woods and they try to find Bigfoot. And my husband thinks it's all staged or whatever. And he might be right. But I think the stories behind it are true, especially from the indigenous folks. I believe them 100%. And so they use language, though, that really irritates me. They'll say stuff like, yeah, we're chasing this beast, or we're chasing this apex predator, right? Like, and I'm like, no, you're the predator. You understand that if Bigfoot finds you, right, you're in Bigfoot's territory. If Bigfoot exists, you're in Bigfoot's territory. And it really shows me like how steeped we are in, again, this culture of needing to conquer everything. I told my husband this yesterday. I'm fine with not knowing everything. I'm fine with not finding the answers to life, right? I'm fine with not understanding why certain things exist. Excuse me. I'm fine with understanding. I'm fine with understanding that everything is not for my understanding. I'm okay with that. But there are some people who feel the need, like, no, I have to rip this thing apart and see like the thing for it to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, Marcus, don't do this to me. I want to believe that the people in Bigfoot in the show are not lying to me. Okay? Because I wouldn't lie. And I've seen some creepy things, but then Jamal has also worked in movies and stuff like that. So movie magic is not anything special. He's like, this is probably just movie magic. But anyway, don't ruin this for me, okay? Don't ruin this for me. But no, my point was, you don't have to find out the answer to everything. You don't have to conquer everything. You know what I mean? Like, some stuff is just to be reverenced. I don't need to go to the bottom of the sea. I know the bottom of the sea exists. There are things down there I don't ever need to see in my life. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of it. That's the magic of it. That's the majesty of it, right? Like, that's like, oh, wow. It causes you to wonder. But we don't ever wonder. We always want to know the answer to everything. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hope what I said makes sense. Hold on. All right. It says, oh, excuse me. No coffins are not biodegradable. Okay, I didn't know that. Plus, many states require a cement lining. Can't think of the right term in the grave as well. Pretty sure that's why bodies can be exhumed. Okay, decades later. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You literally pour into my soul every time you post a video. Oh, yay. Of course. Thanks for being here. That makes me happy. They're paranoid because they know they've done so much to everybody all over the world. Precisely. Because I'm just like, sir, who is they? What's happening? What's going on? Because I live in peace. Sure, something can happen to me right now. You know what I mean? But I live in peace because I haven't done nobody dirty. What am I living in fear for? Seriously. What do I have to fear if I haven't done anybody any wrong? Unless, of course, you're living in like a threatening situation that's different when there is real like terror. But for the most part, some of these people are just like paranoid, talking about this thing that's going to happen and these people that are coming. And I'm like, sir, I don't know what you're talking about, but go off, you know? Hi, Denise. Welcome. Your name is spelled like D nice, but hi, Denise. I hope I'm saying it right. Hi. Bigfoot. Okay. That's what that is. I'm like, what is that? Don't you think a lot of people didn't get the vaccine due to misunderstanding, not looking for the information? Excuse me. Don't you think a lot of people didn't get it due to misunderstanding, not looking for the information? No, sure. I think both. I think there are some people who willfully just like, whatever, I don't care, right? But also there are people who are like, no, I'm scared of putting things in my body that I've never heard of before. And I think that's totally understandable. You know what I'm saying? So when I get it. Everything's supposed to be super binary. It's supposed to be like, you're either for this or against this, right? And I'm somewhere here, I'm in the middle. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like, let me think about this. Why might someone be opposed to doing this? Especially people who look like me, right? Why would someone be opposed to doing this? Because these places, these organizations, let's be real, the medical system has not been very kind to people who look like me, and Black women specifically. So if people are afraid of getting it, that makes sense to me. I get it. I understand. So when people act like, I don't get why you don't understand it. Why don't you understand that? I don't get why you don't understand that. What you choose to do with that information, that's up to the person. You feel me? Like, but to this all boiling down to make it simple and bite-sized, to me, that's lazy. That's just how I feel. I think it's really easy to jump on a train and point fingers and blame people for stuff. I think that's really easy. I think what's harder is just trying to put yourself in their shoes and come to an understanding based on their experiences and not your own. Because my experience is not everybody else's experience. That's just how I believe. Yes. Jess says, that's how I was with the Loch Ness Monster. Became friends with a real Scottish guy, and he said they kept the story going for tourism's sake. Don't tell me this, Jess. No. This whole time I thought it was real. Wow. Okay. That's heartbreaking. Not only in the woods, you in the bear's house. Hello. The bear got every right to say, get out. I didn't invite you over. Exactly. Also, in the what do you call it? In the movie, you know, the animated movie, Pocahontas, They're like playing with the bear cubs and stuff. Don't do that, y'all. Don't, because that mama bear will tear you up, okay? Hey, Jessica, welcome, welcome. Hey, soul sister, I'm late. No worries, you're right on time. I went on a D'Angelo rabbit hole and ended up, how does it feel? Lord help me. That's all right. That's okay. That's okay. This is the Blair Witch Project all over again. Don't tell me this, because now I'm too invested, okay? I gotta see Bigfoot for real now. I've been watching videos, searching things. Listen. Hi, just passing through. OMG, I just got home from work after a 13-hour shift. Oof, much rest to you, because that's crazy. I'm so excited to catch some of this live and to soak up some of the positivity from the people in this group. Okay, that makes me happy. That makes me really happy. Yes, I'm glad you're here too. Denise. Okay, Denise. Awesome, awesome. Yay. Exactly, the Tuskegee experiment. I understand why people were like, no thanks. Not interested. I'm going to stick to my herbs. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to mask up and do the best that I can, right? Because they would have you to believe that everyone who's like not getting, who didn't get the thing, whatever. I feel like I already said it. People who didn't get the thing, right? That they're just like out here living life and don't care or whatever. I mean, for some people, sure, they are. But some people are actually like in their house and still taking precautions. They're just scared. Just like we all are. We all scared. And I think what happens is when something happens in the world, right? When something happens that we can't control, we look for people to blame. Because if we blame somebody, then we feel like we're safe, right? Oh, I didn't get it, so I'm safe. Oh, I got it, so I'm safe. You feel me? We're looking for this false security of like, I'm in control of my life. I'm in control of what happens to me. And when we feel like we're out of control, right, we need someone to blame because we can't blame ourselves. We don't know where it's coming from. We can't see the germs, right? It's something, it's really out of our realm of control. And so we look for people to blame, to be like, you're the reason why it's still going. No, guys, like, this is what happens with disease. Like, literally, like this is the natural thing that happens. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so moving on, not to get too deep into that. Okay, yes, the bear scene, like I said, so they say the Bigfoot, it's the apex predator. They'll say like it's the beast, but the white people who are in the woods are the predator. They're literally chasing and hunting Bigfoot. Literally. Like y'all are literally staking out and chasing Bigfoot. And I'm watching, but I am not forgetting that you are the predator here. And if something happens to you, they would say Bigfoot is, they would do all these horrible things and say Bigfoot is violent and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But really, no, like you did this. Like you set yourself up to be harmed because that Bigfoot don't know you. It don't know that you don't mean it no harm. If Bigfoot exists, it don't know that you don't mean it any harm. And possibly maybe it saw people like you before, like the rest of the world, and said, these people are not people to be trusted. You feel me? But anyway, this inclination to violence, right? This when you live right, you don't have to worry about much. You don't. Like, yes, there is harm that could still happen to you, right? Being very clear. But I don't have there's no checks out there that I have to cash because I haven't done anybody any harm. And again, it's paranoia. You live by the sword and you die by the sword. So them calling them savages and all these different things. I was watching the movie and the first, like, oh, I don't know what's happening. They pulled out their guns so fast. And it's like when you come from a place where there's violence, right? You don't like anything can be triggered for violence, right? Which shows that these men lived a violent lifestyle before they even got to the Americas. You feel me? All right. Next section. Yes. Denise says, have you seen Harry Henderson? Old movie about big. No, I haven't seen it. I know what you're talking about though. But I feel like my mom could tell me that I'm wrong though. I may have seen it, but it was a long time ago, but I don't think I've seen it yet. I'll probably watch it. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, the next section. I'm not even sharing the, here we go. Okay. Can y'all see that? Okay. Let's see. Lyrics. So the next section is, have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Right? I feel like we all know that part. Okay. So this section I said, like literally, he's saying that he knows all this stuff. Like all these big elevated things in his mind, like, oh, I know this and I know how to do this, and we can make you all right. He tells Pocahontas that he can help them build homes, like they don't have homes. Says all these things, but he's never, not once, noticed the wolf cry to the blue corn moon. He's never noticed. He's never asked or wondered why the bobcat grins. And I think the bobcat is like a star constellation, right? Like just leaving room for awe and wonder. It's like these colonizers, or this colonizing mindset. It's like you have to have the answer for everything. And again, if you don't have the answer, then it doesn't exist. There are people who literally be like, I don't believe in that because of science. Well, science is just observation, right? Oh, yesterday my husband prayed. We went to a church online. We go to church online, and he prayed and was like, oh my God, why did it escape me? But either way, his point was, science observes what God is already doing. Science is the observation of what's already happening. Just because you observe something and discover something doesn't mean, like, you don't own it. It was happening before you noticed it, right? Like, science is all about observation, testing, and stuff like that. But these things were happening before you got there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so even when people have belief in different things, like, there's not evidence for everything we believe in, but we just believe it, right? I can't see germs, literally. I mean, you can see it under a microscope, but I can't see germs, but I know they're there. I know that there's probably water vapors coming out of my mouth as I'm speaking. I can't see them, but I know they're there. And a lot of people like to put down other people like, oh, if I can't prove it, it doesn't exist and you're stupid. No, I feel like there is a special kind of gift to be able to think beyond yourself, beyond what you can see. I think that is wisdom. I think that is knowledge. I think that's smart. I think that's elevated thinking, right? And so a lot of people put down the people who are spiritual, or people who, they're like, oh, you're too frou-frou or whatever the heck, like, because they can't put hands on it. You know what I mean? But everything don't have to be put hands on for it to make sense, or be people to be able to identify with a thing. Hope that makes sense. Okay. It's okay to believe that the Loch Ness Monster is real. He probably really is, and they just don't want you to know. Okay. I'm gonna sit with that. I hope that it's real. I hope Loch Ness Monster is real. I'm actually very intrigued by some of these things. Yeah. Hey, beautiful people, please show your support by hitting the like button if you're enjoying the stream. Thank you, Jamile. I appreciate you. Observation of what's already here. Yeah, I was typing this when you said it. Yes, exactly. It's just observation. That's all science is. Like, you all are discovering things, but things were happening before you knew it. And so don't you think, if things are happening before you were able to take a picture of it or write it down, or, develop theories about things, don't you think there are so many other things that you have no idea about, right? Like, shouldn't that be humbling? To me, when I witness the stars and the trees and the plants and the water, when I sit with it, I don't feel like I want to conquer it or even understand all of it. I'm just in awe of it. And it has something to teach all of us. It has something to teach all of us. If we were just quiet and humble enough to listen. You know what I mean? Exactly. It has to happen in order to be noticed. Exactly. Precisely. He made us so he already knows our path. Absolutely. I believe that too. Such audacity for them to think they know better than Mama Nature. Yep. Who has been at this far longer than humans have been on this plane. Exactly. Precisely. And it's crazy because every indigenous culture, or even like super like spiritual culture, they have a story of creation. Even for myself, my story of creation is God created, right? Like, he created light, he created night and day, he created the earth and water and all these different things. And it's like, even though we know that God created everything, we still have the audacity to say what's mine. That's wild. That's some audacity, okay? Like, no, this existed before I got here. And every creation story is not about what man did. Like, man may have been instrumental in some parts, right? But no, this existed before man. And a lot of creation stories, again, I'm reading, like I said, braiding, oh my gosh, Sweetgrass? Anyway, so I'm reading that book, and their creation story is about building the world on a turtle's back. We read the story in high school. And this woman falls from the sky with seeds in her hand, right? And so she plants those seeds in the ground. But first, the animals are already there. The animals grab her, in the story. The animals grab her and create earth for her. They pull some mud from the bottom of the ocean and put it on a turtle's back. And that's how we have, the Americas and all these different things. And so we know that the earth did not start with us, and yet we think that we are the conquerors of this earth. That's crazy. That's crazy. And we're not even open to really enjoying the earth. You feel me? Anywho, yes. Okay. Yes to the elevated thinkers. Yes, yes. Some things are happening that we don't even have words for. And I love that, right? I love that space. I love getting to a place where I'm so overwhelmed with emotion where I don't have words for it. I just cry. Like that crying, those tears fill that place where words could describe it. Or how the English language is so limited. The English language is so limited. Because when we say we love something, that can mean so many different things. I love this cup of tea. I love this music. I love this person. I love this laugh, right? Like love is like, again, like a catch-all word. My husband says a catch-all, but it's like a catch-all word, right? But it's like, no, but there's something more to this. It's like, when I tell my friends, I love you, I love them more than words can convey. It's like a deep reverence. It's a deep gratitude, right? It's like, it's something that I feel in my stomach and I don't have words for it. And so because I don't have words for it, I just hope that I can show it through my actions. You feel me? So yes. Your husband is spot on, even with global warming. Yeah. Yeah, we have done damage to the earth, but that scripture says it won't be H2O, but fire next time. Hello? Fire. Fire. It's warming for a reason. Oof. Listen. I want to enjoy the earth. Me too. Me too. And what's really annoying, and we noticed this when we were driving, like so I still got to show the videos. I will, but it just takes, whatever. We drove across country from Maryland to California. And before that, we RV'd full time for about a year. Right. And, yeah, so we're traveling the country and there's so many beautiful places to visit, but you can't stay or you have to pay, right? Or it's gated up. They put up fences, this idea of like hoarding what is good. And some of the reasons why, obviously, is like, it's because it's because of what do you call it? Protecting the land and stuff like that. But some of it is like, oh no, this is mine. You can't come here. You have to pay. And I'm fine with paying if it means maintenance of a place. But it's like, no, why do you own this land? Why do I have to pay you for anything? Like, I just want to enjoy the earth. That's like, literally, I just want to see the things. I want to be in the things. I want to mind my business, leave it better than how I found it, right? Like, but no, everything is gated and gate kept. Like these people own something. You don't own anything, Yes. Oh, hi, The Dark Nate. Welcome. You're not late. You're right on time. It's okay. We're literally only halfway through the song. Thank you for coming. Yes, thank you for coming. Sounds came before words. Oh, I love that. We used to speak in sounds, forming pictures. I love that. It's true, right? Even when you look at babies, they're communicating something. They just don't have words. You know what I mean? Not yet. They don't have words. They have the feelings, right? The emotions. Like even their tears mean different things, right? Yes, I love that. I love that. Hi, the great I am. Doesn't science create and enhance too? Sure, absolutely. I never said it didn't. I'm just saying it's just the observation of what's already happening, Aw, yay, I'm glad that you're here. That made me smile, The Dark Nate. That made me smile. I am from Maryland. Yes. Yes, I am. I did van life for a year after arts. That's awesome. I want a van so bad. I do, but it's a little expensive right now. It's trendy. But yeah, no, I love it. I love traveling. I loved living in our car. That was fun. But what wasn't fun, what was not fun was, again, trying to find somewhere to sleep at night, trying to figure out what's going to happen. Because a lot of stuff like you can't park here, you can't stay here, you can look, but don't touch. You know what I'm saying? Very much that energy, and it's very stressful sometimes. So yeah. Hi, Golden Lioness. I like to believe that God is the spirit and flow of earth. Ooh. I think we should do away with the he pronoun and choose spirit. I mean, that's fine. If I'm looking at this comment, sorry. But no, I think that's fine. If you feel comfortable with doing away with he, by all means, I'm comfortable with. I don't have a problem with it. I don't. I know that some people have a hang up about using, pronouns for God, but God addresses himself as like Father. So this is just what I understand. So whatever God calls himself or themselves, That's what I'm gonna call God. And sometimes I do just say God so that there's no confusion. But I personally don't have a problem with thinking of God as a father, as a good father, because I need a good father. You know what I mean? But I understand. I get it. And also, and I also don't. This is just for me. I also try my best. I do not ascribe. I do not look at God like human, like man, right? He is just a pronoun in my mind used for, well, one, I think it's important because if God calls himself he, then whatever. And that's just again my belief. I could be totally wrong, totally off base. But I think it just gives us language to talk about God with, right? Because even for all my, non-binary folks out there, some people like to be called they, them. That's a pretty like, even though that always existed, that's another conversation for another day. But in the context of English, right? In the context of English, with the rules and stuff like that, we're not really used to using they, them, which is why people are trying to learn how to better do that, right? Like grace for people learning. And I think in the Bible, it just gives us language to talk about God so that we don't have to keep saying God did this and God did this and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, it's just, I don't know. I get why people are so hung up on it, but I also understand it's just language. Language matters, but like, it's because it's in English that it has rules that we follow. And God is not limited to he, him, her, they. God is God. You know what I'm saying? So I even know that when I talk about God, I can't even do God justice with the words I speak. You feel me? Like, so I already know that I'm already not even making the mark. But yeah, for myself, I'm just like, God, I don't know. And I also know that God is not man. And so God is not up there, with a penis or whatever the heck. Like, no, God is God. God is spirit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. But I hear you. I completely hear you. I live in Florida, so I feel that way about beaches. Wasn't the ocean created for Exactly. Why are we paying to go to the beach? It was here before you got here. And again, this is not including like parks and stuff like that who use the money to keep it clean because people are trashy and they don't find anything sacred. I understand that. But all that other stuff, I don't get it. Yes, Maryland. Oh, nice. Hey, London. The spirit flows through us all and connects us infinitely. I agree, 100%, 100%. I'm here looking to move now, though. Okay. Oh, I would like to know where are you thinking of moving? If you want to share, you don't have to share. I am not from Southeast. Not, don't lie. That's funny. Okay, I'll be claimed. I lived in Southeast, but I'm not from there. I don't want to listen because I know people are very serious about their DC stuff. Okay, they're like, I am not from the DMV. I'm from DC, so I respect it. I honor it, and I'm gonna take myself over to PG County. Okay, but yes, I agree. I did it before it got trendy. Yeah, a lot of people. It's funny because a lot of people were doing van life and living in their cars when it wasn't cool and people were looking down on them. You're just a vagabond and blah blah blah. And now everybody wants to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. But yeah, he isn't separate from God. It's both a he and spirit and infinitely other things. Yeah, like again, my human brain cannot conceive God. I understand the idea of God, and I think God reveals God's self to me in ways that I can understand and fathom. But I know that my language, my understanding does not limit God. You feel me? Like I know that what I have is insufficient to describe God, right? Like, and these words are silly. These words mean nothing, honestly, compared to God. That's just how I feel. So I know that I'm going to mess up either way, First time watching. I'm glad that you're here. I have a spiritual connected with Pocahontas my whole life. Yes, I see God not as he. Okay. Or human. Absolutely. Not human. The energy is one feminine and masculine energies merge. Absolutely. Sure. Like, why not? And I agree with you because I think if we are reflections of God, both man and woman, then God has to be both. Or whatever, or everything. You said that's the problem. Like English. Like God has to be everything. Like even when we say like, oh, God is goodness, right? Like the essence of God, we can't even fathom, we can't even understand. So yeah, do what works for y'all. But I just know for myself, I'm not about telling people what they can and cannot say in reference to their God. You feel me? That's it. Like, whatever people want to call God, that's fine. but I'm not going to tell people how to talk or worship or speak to their God. So yeah. This reminds me of my favorite Buddhist verse, but I don't want to post it if people don't want to read the whole thing. Wait, why? Why not post it? Oh, verse. Okay. This reminds me of my favorite Buddhist verse, but I don't want to post it if people don't want to read the whole thing. No, please share it. Please share it. If we can read it, we can read it. There might be like some limits or whatever in the, thing, but yeah. I never think of God as he or man. Yeah, God is not man. He's not man, or God's not man. Appreciate you, Golden Lioness. I appreciate that. I'm trying to say things and words escape me, but I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Paid beach is a scam. Oh my gosh. So in Maryland, we have a paid beach, and it's $25 to get into, and it's a bay. It's not even the ocean. It's a bay, and it's this much land. The water is still, and you can see like little floating like feathers on top of the water. It's bad. It's bad. I'm trash. I'm classy, not trashy. Hey, we heard that song this weekend. Yes. Yes. Oh, nice, Florida. Yes, yes. When I was young, water was free, unowned by man. Soon we will pay for air. Honestly, for real. For real. That's why I say PG County people are very particular about their hometowns. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm living in my van now in the city, going to work Monday through Friday. Sometimes it's depressing. Oh, Denise, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm sending you so much love. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, God is goodness. Yes, God is goodness. Seriously, like he's like God is literally goodness. Yeah. God is reflected as an energy in everything, but that is my personal growth and understanding. Yes. Yes, absolutely. As all of the above. Sandy Point. No, it's not Sandy Point. It is, oh my gosh, what is it called? Chesapeake? No, Chesapeake. Jamile or Mommy, what is that beach called? But it's $25 to get in, and it's just the bay. Sandy Point actually has moving water, which is a step above, okay? This one is like, no, it's nice to go to because it's like we don't have no water here, but it's not the beach. It's not the beach to be charging $25. I know that. And it's a bay. Yes, it's a bay. North Beach. Thank you, Marcus. Yes, North Beach. North Beach. Don't go. I mean, it's pretty, but don't pay to go. Please go to the actual beach. Go to like cross the bridge and go to Eastern Shore. If you're going to go to the beach, you might as well. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay, section 5. Here we go. Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. I'm gonna read it one more time. Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. So I said, nothing is sacred under capitalism. Nothing is sacred. So colonized thinking is we can't enjoy something just to enjoy it. We have to own it. We have to sell it. We have to, monopolize it. Like, what I'm saying? Like we have to conquer it. It's not enough to see it. You got to take it and take your claim and take your piece where no one else can have a piece. Like we're talking about the beach, wow, what a wondrous beach. I need to buy this land so that people have to pay me to go, right? It's that idea, excuse me. It raises animals. So again, in the book, Braiding Sweetgrass, one note that I said, it raises animals just for itself instead of for the animal's sake. Under capitalism, life is not sacred. Life is not reverenced, even for animals, right, that we buy, like chicken and lamb and fish and all these different things. These things are grown for us to eat, right? And so in Braiding Sweetgrass, she says something that is really profound. She said that if you're taking the life of an animal, but the whole point of the animal's existence was for it feeding you, like literally having a farm of eggs and chickens or whatever, it's theft. And I was like, whoa, we're stealing life. We're not allowing these chickens to, roam free and do what they want and taking the chicken and honoring it and saying, thank you for this, for your life. I want this to feed my body. We're raising life to take it away. The farming practices here in America are evil. Like, we're raising animals in horrible conditions. They can't breathe, they can't play, they can't experience joy. The cows are pregnant all the time, right? They're forced to be pregnant so that they can produce milk. We're enslaving life. We're enslaving animals. And we're raising animals to be literally to be slaves, to then be killed in their life. What was their life like? What did their life mean? It was stolen. I was like, yo, I just hit the desk. It was stolen. So that's theft. We're stealing. It leaves no room for others to enjoy. And it's based in scarcity and lack mindset, right? If I have to take this land for myself, I don't think there's any other beauty in the world to experience. Or I think that if someone else experiences it, it's less experience for myself. That if someone else comes to this beach, it's no longer special. It's no longer important, right? This idea. And if we took care of it instead of owned it, if we took care of the land, of the animals, of the plants, of the people, right? If we took care of the planet instead of owning it, which is killing it, right? It would be healthier and others would be able to enjoy it too. There'd be more. If we were actually careful, if we're actually careful with honoring and treasuring and taking care of the things that we enjoy, that we love, instead of owning it and strangling it to death, if we took care of those things, there'd be more of this to enjoy later. But yes, if you are taking up everything and buying everything and strangling everything and oppressing everything, there's not going to be anything. There's not going to be none left for you nor anybody else. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's ironic. It's like, I have to take this to own it because there's not enough for me, right? It's not enough for me. When really there's an abundance, because God creates an abundance. There is no lack, right? In creation. Like I have to own everything. And so by me owning everything, nobody else can give anything to it. No one else can take care of it. It's all on me. I'm only one person. So something's going to fall by the wayside. Something's not going to get done, right? Because I'm trying to do everything. And now there's not enough for me to enjoy, nor is there enough for you to enjoy either. Because of our fear, because of our lack, because of our selfishness, our greed. Again, shout out to Marcus. Marcus said there is enough for everybody here on earth, but not enough for greed. If everybody is owning all the things, there's not going to be enough for anybody. Okay. Anyway, the beauty would be never ending if we took care of the stuff that we're supposed to take care of, right? And that leaves no room for awe and wonder. This idea, come run the hidden pine trails of the forest, right? Like, come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. A lot of us, again, come roll in all the riches all around you and for once never wonder what they're worth. That line always gets me. Whoever wrote that line, shout out to you. Come roll in all the riches all around you and for once never wonder what they're worth. We think in money. And money is such a small way to think. There's so much abundance, so much wealth and wisdom and experiences and plants and all these and people. And all we can see is money. That's all we think about is money. Oh, this is only as enjoyable as it makes me money. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, no, there's so much richness around you that you're missing, being tunnel vision focused, like laser focused on money. And I'm not denying that money is important or that we need money for things, because we do. But I'm also saying that I don't want you to miss your life chasing something. You know what I'm saying? Something that's, what is money to like the riches, to the hidden pine trails of the forest, to the berries of the earth? What is money to that? What is money to that? Okay. Yes. So it leaves no room for awe and wonder. I don't have to know the why for everything. Like I said, if I don't know, then why? If I don't know the why, then it can't exist. I don't believe that. And it's also an invitation to play. Come roll in the riches. Come enjoy life. I feel like God made this earth for us to enjoy, for us to share, for us to experience, to appreciate the earth and the beauty around us. Like, are we really tasting and living or trying to obtain and own everything? You know, trying to focus on the worth takes away like the holiness of things, right? Like, I wonder how much money I can make from that, instead of just being present and enjoying it. You know what I mean? And so again, in Braiding Sweetgrass, they talk about the gifting economy, right? Versus the economy that we live in now, and how in this author's culture, in her history, they had a gift economy. I give you something, right? We all give to take care of each other. And to me, that's the economy I want to live in. I don't understand why we're not living in it, why people are so opposed to it. I mean, I do understand low key, but for me, that's the best case scenario. If I'm growing, let's say, if I grow corn and this person grows beets and this person takes care of chickens and this person takes care of green beans and all these different things, we would never lack if we all shared, if we all gifted. Also, did you know the term Indian giver is a misunderstanding of Native American culture? So summarized real quick. So Indian giver, we all heard this thing like when you give something and you take it back, like it's like, oh, I give you something, I want it back. Well, in their culture, in the Native American culture, in that specific tribe that they're talking about, they would gift each other things with the expectation that when I need it, you'll give it back to me. Right? So when I give you something, it's not given to you for you to sit on and hoard. It's given to you to gift to somebody else. To me, that is abundance. Not me buying all this stuff and hoarding all these things. What is abundant to me is me having something and giving it to somebody else when they need it. And if I need it again, it'll come around again because we're all gifting to each other. That's the kind of world I want to live in. Because right now it's ghetto. I don't know what this is. Like, why not? Why not share? So that's where the term Indian giver came from. Just an aside. Okay. Yes. So giving. When you give and people are generous, no one lacks anything. There can't be any lack. If we all, and also one thing that she said is in a gifting economy, nobody takes more than what they need. Which is like what? What a concept. No, in a gifting economy, people don't take more than what they need because they know that first of all, they know that more will be there tomorrow. That's the first thing because people are gifting, but also they want to leave more for people who are coming after them. I don't want to hoard all the toilet paper. I don't want to hoard all the, the vegetables and the Tylenol and all these other things right now because I want to take care of my fellow man too because they are me. We are one, right? Like we're in covenant together. That's me, right? So in a gifting economy, that's the economy that thrives because no one lacks. Everybody has. And even when there is a season of lack, using air quotes lack, right? Everyone gets something. But in this economy right now, there has to be losers. There has to be people without in order for people to be with. That's not abundant. So when I made that video about Black excellence and whatever, the American dream, a lot of people are like, well, what do you suggest? What do you say we do then? Since you have all the answers. First of all, I never said I had all the answers, but this sounds like a better economy to me than whatever the heck this is, than this capitalistic society we live in today. Because it don't make no sense. Literally, our economic system is like literally non-existent. Everything is debt. Everything is debt. Everything is lack. Credit cards, cars, homes, clothes. Everything is debt. Everything is debt. No one owns anything in this country. This country don't even own itself. It's crazy. We're trillions of dollars in debt. But y'all telling me this is the best system there is? Got to be another way. Has to be, because this doesn't make any sense. It's not sustainable. But again, like shout out to Marcus again. There's enough for everybody, just not enough for greed. And it's true. When something is free, if you're kind, you don't take all the things. You leave some behind. When stuff is cheap, you rack up on stuff. That's one thing she said in the book, and that's so true. When it's cheap, we rack up on it, right? But when it's free, we're less likely to take everything because we have an understanding there are other people who want free things too. And also, I don't need all that stuff. If it's free, it'll be here tomorrow. I don't need all that today. You know what I'm saying? But again, they're the savages, right? They're the ones that are less evolved and lacking understanding and wisdom. Okay. So again, what if everyone shared their resources? They wouldn't hoard or be greedy, right? That's my dream. I was reading the book and I sat in the car and I said, God, this is what I want. I want to live in a gifting economy. How do I do this? Like, help me. How do I do this? How do I create that economy? I feel like you can create it obviously with your things, giving your things, sharing your money, your resources, your knowledge, all these different stuff. But like on a bigger scale, how do I do this? I mean, obviously I can't do it by myself, but it's just a thought. Why do we, and this is one question I have for myself. Why do we need money if everyone is sharing and looking out for everyone? What need for money would we have if everybody was sharing everything? If resources were available beyond like, traveling and extra stuff, like sure, like there's money for certain things, but would money even be necessary if everybody shared everything they had? Seriously. If everybody shared everything, would there be a need for money? I don't know. That's just a question. I don't know. Because sometimes it feels like money is ghetto and gifting is better and sharing is better. And so the question I have is, are you taking time to really see and enjoy the earth's beauty? Are you sharing? Are you in a gifting economy or a scarce and lacking one, right? Like seriously, like really examine yourself. Are you selfish? I feel like we're all selfish in a lot of ways, right? But are you afraid to give because you feel like you're going to lose something? And if that's the case, how is it working out for you right now? Right? How is it working out for you hoarding all this stuff because you're afraid that there's not enough for you? Wouldn't it be better to give and to get in return? Generosity goes both ways. You feel me? Like if you create a generous culture, a generous people, and you all give, nobody lacks anything. And a lot of the stuff sometimes that we think that we need money for, we don't need money for if somebody could just give the resources, right? If somebody has an apple grove or an orange grove, excuse me, and is like, oh, take some oranges. You ain't got to buy it. You don't need money, right? Like, anyway, that's just my dream. Let me see what y'all talking about. In the chat, let's see. Okay. Okay, it's basically a verse where a practitioner who's highly attained meets a goddess in a house, and the goddess was happy to see him preaching right teachings. She then showers flowers on him, but he gets upset and thinks the flowers are unsightly for a sage. The goddess asks him why he thinks that, because the flowers have no discriminatory nature, so there's nothing wrong with them. Then he tries to go to an extreme and tries to keep himself silent, but he thinks words can't describe the nature of things. But the goddess says that nothing's wrong with words either, because words too are included in the nature of the universe. I love that. So it's fine to call something a he. Okay, got you. As long as you aren't stuck to that. Yes. No, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, I love that. Basically, it's about being flexible enough to understand the equal, holy nature of both the said and the unsaid, as long as you don't get overly attached to either side. Yes. Okay. Yes, I agree. And for those who either just coming or you're like, what's happening? We're talking about God and the pronouns like he or him or they or spirit, or people don't use pronouns at all to talk about God. And so I basically said, use whatever works for you. I personally don't have a problem with calling God he, him, whatever it is. Honestly, that's honestly what I've been calling God all my life. And so I know that language matters, but I think for me, that doesn't trip me up personally. Like I know that God is not a man in heaven, sitting, with a penis or whatever the heck. I know that God is spirit. You feel me? But like using he or whatever pronouns you want to use for God, it's like I'm just using that to talk about this person, this spirit, so yeah, but I'm not that's the thing. We're talking about God is not man, right? So God doesn't think the way I think. He also doesn't think, or God doesn't think the way that man thinks. And so even like this toxic masculinity that is very strong here on this earth, in this world, that is not God, and that's not of God. And so I don't want to what am I trying to say? I don't want to give him those attributes when those aren't God's attributes. You know what I'm saying? So language means things, yes. But I think for me, because it's not a personal conviction that I have, I just say he, just for ease. And also, again, my words are very limited. Like I said, the English language is very limited. No matter what words I say about God, it's not going to be sufficient, but there's grace. You know what I'm saying? So again, whatever works for you. If you're not comfortable with he, don't say it. If you're not comfortable with they, don't say it. But also I would caution you not to tell other people what they can and cannot call their God. Because that's a very personal thing, So, but yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, the Dark Nate. Let's see. Yes, they're already charging people to collect rainwater in some places in the US. Yeah. Like you can't even, they don't even want you drinking the water falling from the sky. That's crazy. The song is truly beautiful, but too bad it's attached to questionable organization. Fair. Fair. Disney is not the best. That's very fair. And also, the movie was very problematic. Like I said in the beginning, they tried to paint the movie like, oh, we're just misunderstanding each other. And we're just two people from two different walks of life. And, I just need to be more considerate about. No, no, they were colonizers and they were wrong. They were wrong. James Cameron stole the idea and story of Avatar from a native woman. Avatar is a futurist version of Pocahontas. Yeah. Same story. It's a true story. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. That's garbage. It was. It's Braiding Sweetgrass is beautiful. I'm really enjoying reading it. It's beautiful. As you read along, the colors of the wind, the more I realize its meaning of being present and loving all the wonders of life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Me too. Me too. Me too. Wow. And we eat that trauma meat and wonder why we're sick and diseased. I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like I'm on the same wavelength as you, Yvette. This chicken, whatever the heck, pork, whatever you eat, beef, we don't think that we are ingesting that trauma. But also, before we even get to like worrying about us, I really am starting to think about all the things my food had to do to get to my plate. All the things my food had to endure to get to my plate. And do I want to really support those industries where cows have to be pregnant all the time to lactate? Like mammals only lactate when they're pregnant or after they give birth. Why am I grabbing my breasts? But like they only lactate when they give birth, right? Or right after. So this idea of like making a cow pregnant all the time just to pump milk, like it's so abhorrent. It's evil. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we know better, we do better. Well, if we can do better, because also let's talk about the inaccessibility of really good food too. Like it's really easy, cheap, affordable, accessible to eat things that aren't the best for us. And I feel like that's on purpose too. But there's grace, right? Everybody can't do everything. But like just, being mindful of it, I feel like is important. That's the first step, So yeah, have grace with yourself. We don't know, we don't know. And we can't do better until we can do better. You feel me? So yeah. I agree. We more to take better care of the earth and everything, every living being on it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Golden Linus says, I once heard a man say, we are chasing all the wrong things. And that's when it hit me. Yes, I agree. Missing our lives, chasing the wind. When life is infinite, abundant, beautiful right now, right here. He stole the Terminator from Sophia Stewart also, and they separated the franchises from Terminator and Matrix. They are one story. Sophia Stewart, the author of The Matrix and Terminator. I never knew that. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Yes, there's giving and receiving and giving. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Giving and sharing economy, abundance for real. That's abundance. That is abundance, sharing. Hi, Albert. See, America's always butchering something. Always. Literally. Always. Yes, I want to live in that world too. Like, let's do this. Seriously. Because this book, so Braiding Sweetgrass mixed with Rest is Resistance by Trisha Hersey, where she basically says, let the chips fall where they may. I really feel like in order to live the life that I want to live, is going to require some sacrifice and some things that seem kind of drastic or dramatic, right? Because if everything in this country is founded on evil and it requires evil to continue, again, i.e. keeping a cow pregnant to make milk for me, right? That means me literally dramatically turning away from these evil systems and creating new ones, trying something different. You know what I mean? I'm willing. I just got to figure out what the heck to do, Yes, love your neighbor like you love yourself, period. The golden rule. Do you think there would be more abundance if everyone would negate their scarcity mindset? Absolutely. Yes. 100%. Because scarcity is why people hoard. Scarcity is why people are selfish, right? Scarcity is why people are greedy. Literally, even think of ourselves. We're full, but it tastes so good that we want to keep eating. And some of that might be because like, oh, I'll never eat something as good as this ever again. When like, no, you can wait till tomorrow and eat the rest of your food. Like we all do it. We all do it. Or saving, the dress for the special occasion. Same thing. Saving, the makeup for, when I go out, when I deem it special. No, stop hoarding your good experiences. Have it now. It's all the same. So yes, I feel like if people were less scarce, we'd share more, for sure. For sure. Yeah, for sure. Some people cannot operate without exploiting. Agreed. And it's disgusting. As above, so below. We leave something our body and we ascend with our spirit. Ooh, yes. To live this way is to cherish honor, generosity, trust, and reverence for life. Absolutely. Those are qualities lacking in the Western world society. Absolutely. When people say that the I don't even want to say that. The majority culture here has no culture. It is a culture. It's a culture of violence. It's a culture of lack. It's a culture of poverty, of theft, right? A lot of stuff, everything that's here is theft. And again, the people who get praised are the thieves. Yeah. Pay it forward. Absolutely. That's how you start. Thank you, Sam. That's how you start the economy, is paying it forward. Absolutely. People have the spirit of gluttony and envy, that part. We must go inward to destroy the ego in order for there to be a change. I 100% agree. Yes. I'm hoping one day to get enough people together to create a charter city so we can get this economy started. Yes. Please keep me in the loop because I'm in. Yes. I'm worrying about having enough money is draining. It's very draining. And again, obviously, if you're in a place where you're lacking money, it's hard not to worry about money, right? So let me put that to the side. I'm not talking about that. But when you have what you need, like I've gotten to this place where I really trust God. I really trust that God will take care of me. Again, I was reading, I talked about this in my previous video. I was reading about, God delivering the Israelites from Egypt and God feeding them from the sky and giving them water to drink from a rock. If God is who God says God is, then God cannot and will not take care of me. It's not God's character. It's not God's character to not take care of me. If God is who God says God is, and if I believe God is who God says God is, then I will never lack anything. I will never lack any good thing. If I am aligned with where I'm supposed to be, God is going to take care of me, period, right? And it might not be in the form of money. And so I don't want to limit and box God in worrying about money. What is money to God? God, the infinite being, and money just existed recently? That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and again, when I say it out loud, it helps me process because it calms me. It humbles me. That God is not worried about what I'm worried about. God cares about what I worry about, right? But God got it. I'm not God. Relax. You know what I'm saying? It's very draining. It's very draining. We created these problems. Now we're trying to fix it. Yes. Yes. Precisely. Ain't that just like us? I live in Florida, so I see fruit trees everywhere. Yes. Some homeowners, would allow the fruit to rotten on the ground. Isn't that crazy? Instead of just letting people have some fruit, just let it fall to the ground and rot. That's evil to me. That's crazy. On trading, the barter system often creates an unbalanced system of trade where parties are unable to find others willing to trade. The barter system also lacks a common unit of measurement for goods and services. Since most goods depreciate with time, they become less attractive for trade and storing value. But again, in my fantasy, right, where we share, there'd be no need to measure the goods and services, right? Like they would just be there because I have something to give too. But also I care about my fellow man. I think that's a problem. We're trying to apply like our westernized, colonized, if I'm just being honest, thinking and apply it to indigenous nations, tribes, groups of people that predates that, where they were fine for thousands and thousands of years before we step foot in their land. I think we get very arrogant in that way, thinking that our system is better than theirs when they existed before we even got there, when they were the ones helping the people who landed on their land, right? Like, we got to be careful. Our way is not the best way. It's just a fact. It's just facts. Our ways is not the best way. And again, the barter system, I'm talking about gifting. Like literally, like I have, so you have. There's no need to barter. You feel me? Like I have because I value you, because I honor you. So you're gonna have too. And whatever you have, because that's a shared belief, we all take care of each other and we lack nothing. There'd be no need to be able to measure, because you can't measure the value of something. Hate to break it to you. You can't measure the value of corn. You can't measure the value of a human being. You can't measure the value of grass, of the air, of rain, of trees. You can't measure that. The money that we place on things is made up. Somebody, some person, some entity decided what something was going to cost when it is infinitely abundant. It's just very human for us to try to attribute value to anything. We don't have the credentials to place value on anything. We don't understand what is valuable. And also what I value, what some people value, I don't even value. So you're telling me, for example, that this Mercedes is priced at, I don't even know if Mercedes is like the fancy car now. So please forgive me if it's not. But you're telling me this fancy Mercedes is like, and I'm making this price up, $1 million, right? It drives the same as a Honda. It does the same things, but some person, which is fine, right? You can price whatever you want to price. It's America. Do whatever you want to do, right? But this idea of like what is valuable, a lot of times is made up, and somebody told us that it is. Why is it that some cars have the same engine and yet they're different price? Because somebody decided that this is luxury and this is not, right? It's all made up. None of this is real. It's all fake. It's all fake. But we buy into the system and we believe it. Now, I'm not saying don't make money, like, because you need money to survive. That's why we have jobs. That's why we start businesses. That's why we have programs, all these different things to make money. We have to make money to live because that's the world we live in today. But I'm just saying, if we lived in a world where money didn't exist and everybody shared, there'd be no need for it. More people would be able to go into their gifts, their callings, right? Because they're not worried about paying their bills, or they're not worried about eating, or, if they're going to have heat, right? So yeah. Manifesting dreams into physical reality, done this or did it. So to appreciate them in the mind, spirit realm, and that's it. Manifesting dreams into physical reality, done this or did it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to understand your comment. So to appreciate them in the mind, spirit realm, and that's it. Or please, follow up. I do want to answer your question. I think I'm just confused. Please. Let's look at Exodus when God said, I am that I am. The name God will be undervaluing God. Yeah. God is energy. Yeah. God. Yeah. God was first before gender. Exactly. Precisely. Creator is how I refer to divine. Oh, that's awesome. Wonderful. Yeah. Not surprised. Hollywood stays stealing. Me neither. I'm not surprised either. They stay stealing a bunch of stuff. Marcus says, I always remember the function of pronouns to take the place of / refer to a noun. Exactly. Literally, that's the only reason why I say he when I talk about God. And some people say she, and some people say they. Like literally, it's just language. It's just, but yeah. God is before gender. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God is not limited to our bodies or our beings or even our understanding of what gender is, right? Like, God is beyond all of that. You know what I'm saying? So yes. Hi, D Walker. Welcome. Gender identity, identity is a function too. Absolutely. But what is gender to the eternal one? Yes. And this is what I also want to say. I understand why people don't want to say he. I get it, right? Because it's been used to oppress. It's been used to subject people, specifically women, underneath of this God, right? But yeah, I totally get it. But for me, I'm able to separate the two just personally. Like I'm able to, and for some people they can't, and I understand. But for me, I'm like, that's not God. That's man. That's men. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that's man. Like as in humans who are evil and, I was going to say defunct. But anyway, but yes. Hi. I treat every day as special because it is. Braids like Brandy. First of all, I love that name. I love that. But these problem people do not really live themselves. Yeah, they're empty holes looking to be filled and nothing is ever enough. And that's that point, right? Nothing will ever be enough to an empty soul, right? To a dark soul, everything needs to be consumed. And it's never like, that's why there is greed, right? That's why there are these countries that feel like they have to take over everything and have a hand in everybody's government and everybody's business, right? Because nothing is going to satisfy. Nothing is ever enough. Like the founding fathers who were literally just plantation owning human traffickers. Speak facts, speak facts. Yes. I prayed to be amongst like-minded folk with similar souls. Thank God I found it. Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. We make value. Now we have to destroy it. Yes, start new. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, people ask, what do you want to do? Burn down everything and start over. That like literally, I feel like that's the only way you can do it. You got to gut everything. You got to start from scratch. Make right what was wrong and start from scratch and go from there. Kwanzaa principles in action. Yes, yes. The thing is, Alicia isn't just talking about an economic system. It's literally a whole different mode of perception. Yeah, we create systems based on our values and morals. So if a certain culture was conditioned under that idea that everybody is like family and blessed through generosity, that would lead us to an entirely different system. But since this current Western world is conditioned by selfishness, materialism, and hedonism, we hoard and distrust and criminalize based on these beliefs. But imagine a world where people were conditioned to see everyone as a free, infinite expression of the infinite, where there is no fear or scarcity and doesn't adhere to limited materialism. Yes! Thank you. You said this so eloquently, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. It's not like we go straight to money. We go straight to money. Well, how will we make money? If everybody's taking care of each other, it's unnecessary. I mean, obviously, you probably got to buy some land first, obviously. We talking about like whatever. But like, yes, money has its place. But if everybody was sharing, we'd need less of it, if not none of it. We'd need less money if people were more generous. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We're going to finish the song, y'all. I'm getting there. Let's start by making a council and buy untaxable land. Yes, yes. We will set the example for the world. I love that. I love that. Like God did with the flood. Yes. Burn it all down. Start over. Because it's trash. This is bad. Absolutely. I agree. Well said, the Dark Knight. Precisely. Okay. Let's finish the song. So I said to the question, are you taking time to really see and enjoy the earth's beauty? Or are we so preoccupied with acquiring and getting and mere money that we miss the beauty of it all? Even the beauty of sharing that beauty with others. There is beauty in sharing with other people that we're missing out on. All right, next section. Here we go. Share screen. Hey guys. All right, so the next section says, all right, the rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle and a hoop that never ends. I'm like singing the song in my head. Yes, no, for real. Yes, yes. I believe it's possible. I'm sorry. I believe it's possible. People want to say the whole world will fall apart. Maybe the world needs to fall apart. Maybe the systems need to fall apart. Maybe this trash needs to fall apart. Maybe we need to fall apart so we can start over and build something better and different. Right? Like, anyway. All right. So the next section, like I said, the rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle and a hoop that never ends. Right? The water is life-giving. Like literally, the rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The water is giving life. The rain, the river, the heron and the otter are my friends, right? The animals even benefit us. We talked about this before. The beneficial relationships between, that goes from species to species. Some animals eat the plants, poop the plant out. The plant has a seed in it that's in the poop, goes into the land, and a tree grows, right? Flies. Learn this from, shout out to Nina. Flies pollinate, and I had no idea. They're very annoying. But everything is connected to everything. Everything that I do affects everything. Literally, and this is for you too. When you came into the world shifted. The world changed completely. Your life impacts everybody else's life. Your life impacts the world in general. It just, what you have say in It's how it impacts, right? Is it good or is it bad? Are you polluting the earth? Or are you giving back to the earth? Are you being stingy and selfish? Or are you giving to other people? Our existence, our breathing changes the world, right? So everything is connected, obviously. So, yes. Are we a benefit to other people, though? Are we a benefit to other people? Are we a benefit to other species? Are we a benefit to the earth before we go back into the earth? Right? Again, we think that we're so much more intelligent than wildlife. And in ways we are, right? We are more intelligent in some ways, right? But instead of appreciating, we seek to dominate. And in all that wisdom and understanding and knowledge, that in all this pride, honestly, arrogance, that we are better than everybody else, we still have to prove our dominance in a violent way. In a violent way. Anyway. So anyway, yes. Again, it's giving toddler energy. That's what I wrote down. It gives toddler energy. Mine. You can't have any. It's mine. No, these are my things. And before you know it, you weighed down by all this stuff, right? It's not moving. It's like you've seen those shows where people hoard things in their homes. The stuff just rots. It dies, right? It becomes junk. It becomes a nuisance. It's not moving. It's not flowing. But when we're giving stuff away, right? We're giving stuff away to give back or to get again or just giving it away just because we have it. We're free. We're light. We're airy. And when I need the thing, somebody will give me the thing I need. Instead of me having to rely on myself for everything. I have to have everything I need. That's too much pressure. None of us are supposed to have everything we need. If we had everything we need, we wouldn't need each other. Right? If we had everything we need, we wouldn't be in community. There'd be no point. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Like I said, we all impact each other. Nothing is extra. Everything is necessary. Everything relies on everything. Ripple effects. We move and change so much because it's inconvenient, but we miss out on the benefits, right? Humble yourself. Even flies have purpose. Humble yourself, right? Humble yourself. Okay. Moving on. How high does a sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, for whether we are white or coppered skin, we need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. We need to paint with all the colors of the wind. The end of the song. Okay, so have reverence for nature. I just spilled water on myself. Okay, have reverence for nature. A tree exists and belongs to itself. Animals belong to themselves. People belong to themselves. Right? And even if you eat meat, what I love is this reverence that people have too for the meat they eat. It's not just bless this food we're about to receive. No, but thank you for this. I honor this, whatever, the fish or whatever. I think the first time I saw that was in Avatar. So that actually makes a lot of sense. When Zoe Saldana's character kills some animal to eat, I think. And she says, I honor your life. Right? Do we honor the lives of the things we're eating? Do we really think about and honor the work that went into that thing? Think about how many hands had to touch your vegetables before it got to your plate. Think of the people who are working in fields to get you the nutrition you need. We're so disconnected from the food we eat. We're so disconnected from everybody, right? We're disconnected from everything. We just go to the store and buy stuff. We don't consider how much work it took to get that food on your plate. Everything's just whatever, it's fine, it comes out the air. No, somebody worked and toiled for that thing. Give honor and reverence for that too. Okay. Yes. So have reverence for it. Animals don't exist just for you to be killed. Animals exist because they exist, because God created them. Not just for you to eat. You know what I'm saying? Animals have a benefit that don't even include us. We think that the world revolves around us. Everything benefits us. No, the animals, they live a whole other existence in these remote areas without people just fine, right? They're not just for us. We can look at them and honor them without having to own them, eat them, even, again, tame them. So yes, It's a theft. Animals being raised just to be killed is a theft. I said that earlier, and that was profound. And that really makes you be more considerate about what you're eating, when you're eating, how to get there, what kind of life this animal lived. Because animals don't deserve just to exist for my stomach. These things have no purpose without us benefit. We think that things don't have purpose without them benefiting us. But everything is not for our greed, nor is it for our consumption. Everything is not for our consumption. But the thing is, we don't know how to turn it off. We think everything has to be consumed. Some things can just be honored and experienced. You don't have to own it. It'll be there. Lord willing, tomorrow you'll wake up and do it again. You know what I'm saying? So yes. Now getting to the end of the song. You can own the earth and still. All you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still. All you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. So this line always gets me, right? This last line of the song. Owning the earth feels so low level. Owning the earth feels so cheap. If all I can do is own the earth, and then what? Now that you've conquered everything, now that you have everything, now that you own everything, now what? Now what? You'll never be able, in this song, obviously, you'll never be able to paint with all the colors of the wind because you're hoarding everything. You'll never experience true joy. You'll never experience true abundance, right? True freedom, true peace. That's why people are living in paranoia right now, talking about some taking down the AP courses and African American, because you don't know peace. You don't know peace because you know the wrong you've done. You own all this stuff. You've shed all this blood. You've killed all these animals. You've built all these homes, all this concrete. And now what? It's insatiable. Gluttony does not, nothing satisfies gluttony. Nothing satisfies greed. And if all you own is the earth, which is not yours in the first place, what a sad existence. But people really do want, I love the song Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's one of my fave songs. But seriously, everybody wants to rule the world, but what's the plan? World domination. Every movie that we watch, every cartoon is we want to take over the world. For what? And then what? Because all you're going to do is drive it into the ground like Scar did in Lion King. that line, Shadowland. It was barren. It was dry because Scar was greedy, right? And people left to their own devices are greedy. All humans will do is destroy it. So paint with all the colors of the wind. You know what I mean? Let's see what y'all talk about. I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Let's see. Where is the untaxable land? Native American land. Okay. The land is Native American. Okay. You have to be, native. Okay, got it. Oh, nice. Girl, go on and buy you some. Absolutely. Buy the land, okay? If you can, I would say buy the land. That'd be beautiful. The circle of life. Absolutely. Everything is connected, period. But don't be naive to the increased violence that would be expressed in the destruction of the current world system. Absolutely. Oh, for sure. The system would not go down without a fight. And I'm sure that fight would become violent. I'm sure of it. If everybody was yeah, let's forget money. Let's just share everything. They can't have that. So it would have to get violent, unfortunately. Yeah. I need a community funding. I'm a young woman still working. Yeah. Absolutely. Everybody got pitch in. Our mother and father have given to us many times and never expected anything back. Yeah. Same with nature. Absolutely. Nature gives back to itself, and so do we. Absolutely. And we give back to nature too, right? When we breathe out air, right? The trees taking it. Here's some oxygen, right? And hopefully we're leaving, we're making good changes or good impact on the world. But yes, it's supposed to be a give and take system. It's not supposed to be we take. That's what you have here. That's why our food has no nutrients, no flavor. It has no flavor. Shout out to Nacho Libre. But yeah, there's no flavor. There's no nutrients because the soil is drained. Because we're not good to the earth. Yes, please, y'all. Share information. Okay. In order for things to change, there must be a radical overhaul, but many people can take things left. Absolutely. That's why the challenge is how do we create a radical spiritual revolution first? That's the starting point. If the heart ain't right, it ain't going to be right. If people ain't right, it's not going to be right no matter what you do. I have been vegan since 2018. I've been stressed so much that I've consumed dairy. It destroyed my stomach. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm breaking away from it now because I know where it comes from. I'm ashamed. Don't be ashamed. It's like, again, there's grace. Grace. Once we know better, we do better. I mean, shame, feeling conviction is important, right? Being convicted about something that we shouldn't do anymore, that's different than shame. You don't have to wear that shame. You know, we all make mistakes. We all do things we're not supposed to do. And when we get the opportunity to do better, we just get to do better, you know? Yeah, I can't do milk anymore because my stomach be tore up. I cannot do milk. And I get it sometimes here and there, but I can't do like, I try to stay away from it as much as possible. Yes. We must be awakened first. Absolutely. Let them go inward, but you being the example like Christ was. Yeah, yeah. Sleeping Beauty 400 years sound like the Israelites. Yikes. Oof. Y'all better speak. It's time to collectively remember who we are. Yeah, let's wake them up peacefully. I love that. Peacefully. Love that. But the story of Sleeping Beauty and what happened to the people falling asleep was significant to the people needing to wake up. Yes, y'all talking. Pinky in the brain. What? We're going to take over the world. Absolutely. That's why I study so much spiritual systems. I look to see all the practices they did and change people. Excuse me. Sorry, I meant to mute my mic. I'm on ASMR for y'all. The challenge is, how do we make this stuff cool? How do we make it cool to be honorable and generous? Yeah. You know, honestly, I don't know if it'll ever be cool. I don't know if it'll ever be cool. Honestly, to be generous, it's like, unless somebody's getting something for it. Honestly, like, I feel like in this country, everything is kind of about what I can get in return. Accolades, attention, awards, right? Not saying that stuff is bad inherently, but I think that sometimes some stuff is just not going to be cool. But the people who get it, right? Like, and I think that it's going to be probably a small number first of people, and like, oh, that's interesting. Because a lot of people, the first thing people will say, oh, this will never work. Then people need to see it working. Some people will be late adopters. What is it called? Late adopters. Like, there are early adopters and the late ones, right? And so most people are on that bell curve where it's like, oh, late adopters, where in the beginning it's only a few people. But I think all you need is a few people, seriously, to show them what it looks like to get started. I say we pack up all those who want to keep this Western culture and send them straight to the moon. Oh no. But yeah, I get it. Hey, beautiful people, please show your support by hitting the like button if you're enjoying the stream. Yes, please, if you're enjoying it. Appreciate y'all. It doesn't have to be violent. We are intelligent enough to create a different way. Absolutely. I don't think the people who want to make the change are violent. I think the people who are in power are, and will by any means necessary take control of people, of property, of resources. And we've seen it happen in the past, right? Like, we've seen, again, Black towns minding their business, having their own thing going for them, and then helping themselves but destroy it. Violence, right? And because I think the foundation of this country is violence, excuse me, it needs violence to thrive and keep going, right? But yeah, no, people who want to make the change don't have to be violent. We don't have to be violent at all. I don't even think the people who wanted the change in the first place were violent. Indigenous folks here were not violent. The violence was brought to them, right? So yeah, I agree. Think about it. If we feel like this right now, then it's possible for them to feel it too. Absolutely. What did it take for you to realize this peacefully? We all have the answers. We have all the answers. Absolutely. I agree. I agree with you. I'll leave it there. I just think that history has shown people are capable of change. Not going to knock that. People are capable of change. But the people who are evil here don't want that change. And I feel like even the people who are using air quotes evil, I think that they know better too. But they want to keep their power. And I think that's the problem. It's not that it's not possible or they don't know. It's just that some people are unwilling to let go of the power they have over other people, even if it comes to their own detriment. That's how tied people are to their status all that stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm with you for sure. I always listen. I think the best case scenario, let's do it, right? But I also am going to keep an eye open for people who don't have the best intentions, right? Who might be outside watching, whatever. I don't know if that makes sense, but yes, I agree. But those who don't know how to effectively communicate often use, yes, that's true. It's very true. It's very true. Hey, just passing through. Okay, I joined the live late and started from the beginning. I'm just now at the Bigfoot part and I don't even know what to think. Don't judge me. Don't judge me, okay? But I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the Bigfoot whirlwind, okay? The rabbit hole. Oh, for sure. After learning MK Ultra was a real thing, yeah, I knew this country wasn't. It's insane. We underestimate how evil this country is. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, honestly, if they were evil enough to come to this country and destroy it, I mean, what can they not do, right? Like, yes, they've been doing it for 400. Exactly, precisely. The people on people are no different than us. They just need to be awakened as we are. It's ego and much more to do with fear. It's either love or fear. Yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you at all. Hey, welcome. Thanks for being here. That was when I learned this place is ran by psychopaths, and while I'll never accept this, it's just normal ever again. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. It's kind of you. I was watching a video clip of that 90s rapper KRS-One. He said his gun is God, universe, nature. He said, let your gun be God, universe, nature, because the evil folks are not greater than any of them. No, absolutely. I agree. Indigenous people had intertribal oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I just think that this Western experiment that is America and whatever, the Western experiment, right, has gone wrong. Like, and the way that this land was obtained, it's a different kind of evil. Like, intertribal battles is something different than colonizing the whole world, right? Like, it's different. It's very different. I'm not saying that violence didn't exist before they got here. Not at all. That's silly. I would never say that. But what I am saying is that this is a special kind of evil here. A special kind of evil at play. There's no sacredness for life in general. In general. Like this kind of evil that's here will consume its own. Right? Will consume its own. And I think, yeah. So to compare it to intertribal violence or battles, I don't think that's a fair comparison at all. I think that's something totally different. Yeah, I think that's different. But yes, I agree with you. The people on this live are love, but we were once in fear by system. The ones in fear now can also find love. I agree. 100% agree. Let's set the example. Let's make a plan. For sure. Listen, I don't think anyone is above or too far gone. That's not my belief. My belief is not that anyone is too far gone. Also my understanding, not pack them up and go to the moon. They can take their money greed status with them. Yeah. It's irritating. Yes, people I would love for a miracle to happen where people, think and are awakened and all these beautiful things. I would love that. The truth is, though, I understand it's not going to be everybody. And I understand that some people aren't going to give up without a fight. Some people will not give up without a fight because it's happened already on a smaller scale. If dollar is what is worshipped here, it is literally the idol of America. The dollar is the idol, if not self, right? If not pride and arrogance or whatever, that is the God of this nation. And so if you touch someone's God, they tend to get violent, right? If they're not rooted in like an action, you know what I'm talking about. Like a God, lowercase g. I'm an idol. If you touch someone's idols, they get violent. And so, yeah, that's all I'm saying. If someone is worshiping the dollar, is worshiping what America can give, which is the antithesis of what we're talking about today. If that is their idol, some people will not let it go without a fight or will work against us the people trying to live something else, right? So just making room for that happening, but still doing it anyway, and being there for the people who will become awakened. I have hope. I really do. I really do have hope. And I'm starting with myself, with my own circle, my own like microcosm, my own little world or whatever, trying to be as generous as possible. Let's take back what's ours by nature with love. Absolutely, spiritually, not physically. Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying start a war. I don't want to fight. I'm not saying start a war at all. Like, exactly. By example. I love that. I love that. Absolutely different. Western world approach to living is epic fail. Yeah, it really is. Because it's not even about living. It's about conquering. Who cares who lives and who dies, right? Everything's about like, what can I have? What can I obtain? What can I conquer? But yes. Yes, the U.S. is evil. The U.S. evil is unique. This reminds me of the whole slavery topic. People say that other countries did slavery, but most other countries' slaves still had rights. The U.S. was the first country to turn chattel slavery into a billion-dollar industry where the slaves were literally property for life and turned into mules for controlling the world. Wow. Oh, sorry. Y'all can't even read that. Sorry. But yes, yeah. Yeah. There's something inherently evil. It's just a different evil. And people will try all the, whatever. I don't want to compare atrocities because it's all evil. It's all bad. It's all bad. But y'all not finna tell me that this is normal or okay, because it's not. Money is this nation's true God. It is. It is. Like, when you're willing to turn a blind eye to people suffering from money, that's your idol. When you're willing to turn your back on your own beliefs, that's an idol. When you're willing to do whatever it takes for money, that's an idol. Like, even thinking spiritually, like being devoted to God, for example. I'm supposed to give God everything. Love God with all my heart, all my mind, all my soul, my body, all that stuff, right? Honor God in how I love people, how I show up, right? Literally, if you replace God with money, there are people who literally worship money with all their heart, all their soul. Literally will deny themselves for money, will turn their back on their own morals and beliefs for money. This country will consume itself for money. It's literally in trillions of dollars of debt for the appearance of money, right? Anyway. So if you're willing to do that to yourself, if a country is willing to eat itself and use its own people as fuel, right? Then I'm not going to put a limit on what she'll do to little old me for minding my business. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but I hope it's making sense. Yes. But, okay. Gluttony does not satisfy. That's the whole point. But yes, this song, going back to the song, Colors of the Wind, I suggest you all watch Pocahontas again with a grain of salt, because obviously it's problematic. It's not true. A lot of problematic things in here. But the songs, the messages of the song, like, spoke to me. It ministered to me. This faith is dead without works. Precisely. Absolutely. Listen. Okay. Wait. I messed up. Okay. When I went to LA, that was truly the first time in my life where I really saw this mindset in the rawest form. That city is the poster child for everything wrong with this place. Wow. Yikes. Yes. But I agree with you. Mukbang mugs. First up, mukbang muga. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But yes, I agree with you 100%. Faith without works is dead. Dead. Faith without works is dead. And so yes, when we're talking about all this stuff, I'm sharing this because it spoke to me and it convicted me. It charged me. And I'm hoping that the song charges you as well. Because like, we can in our own lives create our own ecosystem. We can in our own lives live a life of abundance where no one has to lack anything. We can be generous. We can live in a gift economy. We can take care of each other. We can enjoy the fruits all around us and the beauty that's happening right now instead of always chasing for more and different, right? Like, we can be a benefit to the earth as the earth is a benefit to us. We can start honoring what we consume, honoring how we consume it, honoring the lives of what we consume. And so, yeah, this song was I just wanted to share this with y'all. The Dark Knight says, seeing rich people literally step over home. Yeah. Stepping over the in house. Yeah, it breaks my heart. Because it's like literally they're looked at as a pariah, like they don't matter. They don't matter to them, you know? So yes. Either way, I hope that this was helpful. I'm gonna go eat tacos now. And yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go eat tacos now with my family. But I hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. I hope to be able to do this in the future, do more songs in the future, because a lot of songs have a lot of empowering and helpful messages in them. And a Disney song, who knew that we were talk for 2 hours about a Disney song in Pocahontas. A great job. Thanks for sharing. Oh, thank you, baby. Thank you for sharing your breakdown of the song with us. Thank y'all for listening, for hanging out with me on this Monday night. I love you guys. Love each other. Okay? Love yourselves. Excuse me. Love yourselves and love each other. Like, that's how we change the world. Not on some cheesy stuff, but for real. Shout out to Mukbang Muga. Listen, faith, like, we can talk all day long about what we want and what we hate, what we don't like. It's very easy to complain. What I want y'all to do though is apply this to your life. Meditate on this song. Like, if you like, think about the words, chew on it. Question yourself. What am I doing to hoard? What am I doing to be selfish? What am I doing to harm? Right? How can I be better? How can I be more beneficial? How can I be kinder? How can I, like, literally by acknowledging, like the Dark Knight was talking about, like, instead of stepping over people who are unhoused, who you think that you're better than, can I smile at them? Can I say good morning? Can I ask, how are you doing? Right? Without wanting something in return, actually not really caring. Like, how can we actually make the change in the world that we want to see? You feel me? So anyway, thanks for spending the night with me, guys. Yeah, I'm glad that you all enjoyed this. Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes. More songs. Yeah. The Circle of Life. Ooh, I gotta look up the words. Yes, I love that. I love that. Oh, bless you, Yvette. Thank you for being here. Can't talk Disney without cheesiness. Yes, absolutely. Yum. Yay. Hi, Jenner's Lessons. Yes, yes. Well, I appreciate y'all. Actually, Circle of Life might be that. Actually, I might like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Yes, thank y'all very much. And thank you all for being such great, people involved in this conversation. You all are bringing abundance and wealth to this conversation as well. I appreciate every single one of you. Even if you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching it. Let me know what stands out to you. And yes, I will talk to you all in the next video. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.